Bam! It's showtime. Good morning, Chris Biesterfeld. Yes, I'm first. Suck it. All right. Exciting developments this morning. Looks like we have a tension building for the 2024 CrossFit Games. Roman Krennikov, Adler was on the show. Jeffrey Adler was on the show and was we asked him about the the what do you call it? 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 The back and forth between him and Roman Krennikov, the Russian mayhem superstar. Supposedly Adler was needling him during some of the events. What does needling mean? I don't know. I'm just using an ambiguous word because we don't really know. I asked Adler about it, and I don't remember him actually landing on anything. I don't remember getting him to say, yeah, I tripped him or I punched him or I told him he's a sissy or his mom's crotch smells like Lucky Charms. I don't remember Adler saying that he said something. But either way, Roman made a post yesterday, and it appears that it upset whatever Adler did. Roman doesn't like it, and he made a post about it, kind of acknowledging it, kind of being vague about it. But then again, we'll find out more this evening when Roman comes on. Roman Krennikov, Andrew Hiller will be joining me tonight at 5 p.m. with Roman's translator Rosa, who's made quite the name for herself in the space too, as being cool as can be. And we'll find out what's going on. Wow, we are still being throttled on YouTube. Crazy. These shows, they're still building. Every show still builds up to be a big show. But as of before last week, every time we went live, we would always have 190 people. And they're still throttling us back. Crazy. Hey, Brandon, good morning. Hey, dude, thanks for the Travis Bajent cards. Wow. This is really, really cool. Crazy cool. Brandon, you know who else is into cards? Is Ken Walters is way into playing cards. Hey, Greg, good morning.
Good morning, brother. How are you?
I'm awesome. Pumped. Shot out of a cannon this morning. I had an extra shot of espresso.
There we go. Do you have a machine?
I have one of those machines where you put the beans on top and you pour the water on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you push the button and it makes you the coffee.
Yeah, like we had in Del Mar?
Exactly. I actually I used to have that almost that exact one, but the model down, and then it broke, and then I went and bought like a cheaper Japanese version of it in these troubling times.
Yes.
What's up with
Jimmy Buffett passed away.
Oh, yeah. And I saw that.
You know, I'm a huge fan, but I never was. I didn't go to a Jimmy Buffett concert. I've never, I don't listen to the Margaritaville Sirius station. But there's a part of me that I almost feel like standing up and put my hand over my heart when I hear his music. He couldn't have been more authentic, honest, sincere, a decent guy, it clearly seems. And he went on the road for 50 years with 10 songs and made himself a billionaire.
Really? He did that good, huh?
Yeah. Now, there's products and hotels and tequila. Again, that play. But
I like all those. I like hotels and tequila.
Yeah, the people that appreciate him, the parrot heads, they call themselves, like Jimmy Letchford. Few people know that about Jimmy Letchford, but I think he's been to 35, 50 Jimmy Buffett concerts. And he's an amazing individual, truly an amazing man.
He sings the song Margaritaville.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, what happened? Anything in particular, or just he?
No, just old.
Just yeah. I think he died the same day as my dog.
I think that's true. And sorry about that too.
That's okay. My wife,
admirable beast.
Since the day my dog died, my wife like every day has been like dropping
hints.
No, just no, not hints. Trivia quotes, little bits of trivia to me. Did you know our dog died the same day as Jimmy Buffett? Did you know that our dog? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you know that our dog's birthday was the same day as Greg? You know, she's just like she wants to keep she's keeping the dream alive.
I got the same birthday as that little puke in the Supermax that blew up the pressure cookers at the Boston Marathon.
You have the same birthday as that guy?
Yeah.
Wow, crazy. Well, you kind of did that. If you astrologically speaking, you kind of did that to the nutrition and health and fitness industry. Boy, yeah. ripples. I want to. I got a couple cool things I want to show you. Did you see that in California? I'm going to pull up this article from Yahoo.com. I can't believe Yahoo's still around. And California is State Farm is now saying that they're not going to issue any more fire insurance in the state of California. And all the conspiracy theorists are like, I don't know if you probably haven't heard this conspiracy, but there's this conspiracy that there's some machine. It's in one of the poles. I don't remember if it's in the North Pole or the South Pole, but it makes earthquakes around the planet and then also can start fires and all sorts of shit, right? So people are just going crazy about this all in that world.
It gives them something to think about other than that our president is a paid crook in the hands of the Chinese and the Ukrainians.
Right? Isn't that enough?
No, that's the one you don't want to absorb.
Because it's too true.
It's and what can you do about it? You've been had.
This is basically just the fact. This is just a numbers thing, right? As you talk about, the actuaries are like, okay, there's fires in California, and we're losing our. Why not just raise the cost of insurance?
Oh, you can still get it. It's just not. They see better profit margins in other products.
But they're saying here that listen to this. State Farm is closing its doors to millions of new customers exposed to rapidly growing catastrophes. I mean, I think that what's interesting is I heard that actually last year there's been fewer catastrophes on planet Earth than or fewer people have died of natural catastrophes last year than in the entire history of mankind, but they're saying that you just can't get new insurance. And isn't it enough to just say, hey, it's because the math isn't working out? The claims are outnumbering the money that's coming in. It's just that simple, right?
I don't know. Maybe politically the easiest thing to do is back out due to global warming. But I'm going to promise you that it looks nothing like this. They look at places like California and Florida, and that's where their payouts are. And the premiums don't reflect it's just not as profitable an instrument as selling elsewhere.
Right. According to the EPA, the area burned by wildfires each year has been increasing since the 1980s, which is interesting because yesterday I saw that we've had the fewest acres
in over a decade, at least a decade.
And the 10 most destructive years on record have happened in the past 20 years, causing more damage thanks to the plentiful dry plants left behind by drought. See, they don't even tell you what metric they're using here, Greg. If it's like the buildings are more expensive that are burning down too. Like, is the metric cost or is it? I mean, the State Farm doesn't care how many acres were burned. They care about the cost of replacing whatever was on it.
That's correct. And the places that burn, all of them. Most of the fires that I'm aware of, it seems to me, they burn in expensive neighborhoods. I mean, I remember as a kid, one of the first big fires I saw as a kid was what we called the Bel Air fire in the 60s. And the sky glowed orange from 40 miles away all night long. And it took out a whole bunch of extremely valuable properties. And I think that the fire in Paradise was much like that. How many times has Malibu burned?
We were there one time when it burned, maybe twice.
Yep. I lived with Malibu burning and stars rebuilding.
Barry McCogner, I still can't believe you and Greg still live in California.
I don't live there. I have a home there that I'll never sell.
He does not live here. I'll second that. I don't get to see him enough.
Yeah, but it will always feel like home. But it's it's not a sensible place for me to have shop.
Rambler, an actuary is a professional with advanced mathematical skills who deals with the measurement and management of risk and uncertainty.
Yes.
Allison NYC, very poignant message. I just got here. Hey, good morning, Allison. It's been a minute. California is a beautiful shithole.
Wow. Allison, you're just beautiful.
Yeah. Allison's the beautiful part of California.
She's one of my dear friends and has been for a long time.
I also want to play you. God, I have
Hey,
so much.
Look at my shirt. You had me at P less than 0.05.
Yeah.
And the intention was, I'm sure, from the creator it's a celebration of low P values. And I like the double entendre of you had me like I've been had. And it gives me a chance to talk about one of the greatest frauds ever perpetrated on humanity.
Oh, tell me.
And that's P values.
Give it to me. So P values is basically some form of validating some sort of information, like big picture. What is it?
Probability of the data on the assumption that the null is true.
And what is the null? What does that mean?
And when held to a test statistic of your arbitrary selection, that's what a P value is. And it's that inference. And it's mildly, and I just love that term, it's mildly inductive, but that is offered as validation instead of the prediction of an observable, the forecast of a measurement. And this is why academic science won't replicate. It's not even designed to replicate.
Okay.
None of the qualities of the science that's in your iPhone or the science that allows Elon to rescue our astronauts from the International Space Station.
Is he having to do that?
Well, I don't know what's going on, but he's doing that now. That's how they're getting home, and they're going to be getting there that way.
Okay, the part of the p-value I understand is what it's not. It's not the prediction of an observable.
That's correct.
Okay, that's good. I'm getting somewhere.
The inferential statistics that delivers the p-value, that crowd maintains that the probability of a hypothesis doesn't have meaning, that you can only take the probability of data. And the problem with that is that science validates through the predictive strength of its models. And so that very system removes any meaningful, reliable validation for which you can have a rational trust.
Can you give me an example of where p-value is used where it's just ridiculous?
Oh, there are countless examples. Look it up. Every time it's used, it's ridiculous. You could make an argument for a p-value and a quality control, perhaps. But the role that inferential statistics is playing in academic science is exactly the problem. It's exactly the problem. We need to be focused on the prediction of observables, forecast of measurement.
The p-value is defined as the probability under the assumption of no effect or no difference. No effect or no difference is the null hypothesis.
Assume the null is true.
Meaning every time you flip a coin, it's always the same?
No.
No, okay. No. Of obtaining a result equal to or more extreme than what was actually observed.
Yeah, what I want to take you to dissect this and go back so that you can repeat these kinds of definitions in which everyone just kind of tunes you out when you say that. And there is an important element here that probability is determined from a test statistic of your choosing, of your arbitrary selection. It's completely ad hoc. And you can pick different tests and get different p-values. You can also increase your sample size and get a better p-value. You can keep at your experiment until you get the p-value you want and then quit. There's a lot of ways to game it, but the point is at the end, it's mildly inductive. It's startlingly weak evidence. And I think no one has done more work in this area in terms of making this palatable, palpable, whatever don't know what the word is there quite, but then Gerd Gigerenzer again, and his great papers on p-values are available online. You can pull that up. You can also find links to all this stuff at brokenscience.org.
This kind of helps me get my head wrapped around it for a split second, I think, if this is right. The p-value of the next nuke going off in Japan is pretty high. Meaning that the only 2 nukes ever gone off are in Japan, right?
That misses everything.
Okay, shit.
Events don't have p-values, data does. And this is the problem from the probability of the data. What I need is the probability of the event. And if you don't think that has meaning, as the frequentists that promote p-values do, you're not going to ever have a system of validation. You'll get lots of research grants and you can demonstrate just about any damn thing you want to demonstrate. But the limiting factor is validation. You're not going to put a rocket, a satellite around Mars with p-values.
I have a p-value of 3.25 inches. He doesn't. He's lost like me, right?
Yeah, it's all right.
We'll get it. We'll get there, Sean. Emily Kaplan, but that picture is incredible, by the way. Is that a painting Emily has, or is that a real picture? Do you see that?
Yeah, I think it's a picture.
That is incredible. Researchers found a significant reduction in cardiac risk with a new drug. Researchers found it's better to read to your kids than beat them, according to significant findings. Every time reporters say significant, it's p-value. Okay. I'm sniffing it out a little bit. I have data to suggest. I think Jake was right. Because, right, he has data. What he's saying is he has data to suggest that the next nuclear bomb will happen. No? No, okay.
No.
All right. Sorry, Greg.
It's the probability of the data on the assumption that the null is true when held to some test statistic of your choosing.
Yeah, whenever I hear null, I can't. My brain just puts in a question mark. The probability under the assumption of no effect or no difference, null hypothesis.
You can take any large sample, like do something like preference for red hats east or west of the Mississippi, and you will find that has a low p-value. And then you attach that any kind of causal factor you want and suggest, and that's how academic studies go. They find the thing they want to demonstrate and they dick around and come up with a low p-value, and the thing doesn't have to be true. It does not have to be true. It could be patently false, and you've established a low p-value.
Philip Kelly, Taco Tuesday, Greg and Sevi. Thank you.
That sounds good.
I'm trying to figure out when Greg will get here. Eaton Beaver, good morning, Coach.
Good morning, sir. Or is it ma'am?
Cave Cadastro, the only way this chat will ever understand p-values is if Greg puts it in sexual terms. That would help me if it had a porn ponent. Jake Chapman, another example. I have insider knowledge on North Korea's plans. We'll get there. I just need tons of examples. One day it's just going to click. When I hear
it's prior information he's talking about, and it's important statistically. This is what Briggs did when he wrote down a number, asked everyone to imagine a number between, what was it, 0 and 5.
Okay. Yeah.
And he asked people to explain what they thought it was and how sure they were with what probability. And someone said 3. And he asked what the probability was, and he said 20%. And he asked what the rationale was, that there was a 1 in 5 chance, right? Well, it turned out the number was something like pi, right? 3.1415926535, that kind of thing, which is between 0 and 5. And so what is the probability now that you're going to guess it when you remove the assumption that it was an integer?
Almost zero.
Almost zero, right? And you could say, I think it's pi, and with what confidence? Almost none, because I expect it's got decimal places.
Right.
Right? Someone else claims they saw him write down a 2, and they were certain of it. He explains, I did that on purpose to fool you. Remember that?
Yeah, that was great.
Straight up. And the point was is that every probability is conditional. Conditional on what? On prior knowledge.
And what is the p-value relationship to that story? That illustration?
Well, our friend here kept coming back with like the inside information on North Korea.
Right.
And I said, that's a prior. That's valuable information. And it alters your knowledge of something. There's a great YouTube video where a gal flips a coin, and then she's got it. It's flipped it, and she turned it over on her wrist, and she asks, what is it, heads or tails? And the guy's heads, and she says, with what probability? And he says 50-50. She goes, okay, is it my turn? He says, you peaked. And she goes, well, yeah, but what's the probability? He goes, well, it's 100%. And the question is, did the coin pick up a new did the coin change? If you think the 50-50 lies in the coin, then you might think that the 100% does too.
Wow. Yeah.
I've got an incoming plane in my target identification device. My 081 unit in the AUG-9 fire control system tells me that this plane 400 miles out, that there's a 70% chance it's a MiG. And in another couple hundred nautical miles, that turns into a 93% chance that it's a MiG. Did the airplane have a change in physical properties?
No.
Because it got closer. No, it didn't. No, the probability inheres in our heads. Uncertainty is a feature of our brains, not the physical universe. Regardless of misinterpretations of quantum theory, regardless of that, and Bohr's confusion on that subject, which is an amazing topic. I'm just running down rabbit holes here that no one's interested in. But look at the debate between Bohr and Einstein. Einstein was perfectly fucking correct.
Can you tell me more about it? That's a great line. Uncertainty is a feature of the brain, not of the physical universe.
Niels Bohr thought that the uncertainty was a physical feature of the universe. He had an ontological. He confused the epistemology for something ontological. Limitations to our understanding, he projected them onto a universe. And Einstein thought that was bullshit. So did Schrodinger, and they were correct, I believe. And I think Jaynes makes a wonderful point of that. We come back, all things ends up back at Jaynes. This guy.
There it is, people. Buy the book.
This is the most important book written in my lifetime, easily.
Probability Theory, The Logic of Science by A.E. Jaynes.
Yeah, E.T. Jaynes.
E.T. Jaynes.
Read the Amazon reviews on it and see if that's not intriguing. There's some brilliant men on there weighing in with some, and what's like so few reviews for a work so completely fucking important. What Jaynes gave us was he pieced together from the work of others a probability theory as a extended logic that allows for the optimal processing of incomplete information. And that's an amazing thing. And it produces enormous fruit across all kinds of fields. This is where AI is the gift in this space, exactly this space, probability logic. The optimal processing of incomplete information. The editor on this, a guy named Brett Horse, is in the radiology, he just left, he just retired, but he was in the radiology department, a physicist who trained with Jaynes. But he was in the radiology department at Washington University, St. Louis, and they wrote code that reads MRIs.
Wow.
And at an inconceivable rate with an unprecedented accuracy. guys like our buddy Will go, man, they're coming for me. You know, this won't be done by people soon. And that's this optimal processing of incomplete information. We use that same stuff to improve that audio on the botched.
Oh yeah, incredible!
Wasn't that incredible,
dude? Incredible,
amazing, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, we were told by experts in industry we were fucked. It's gone. That is how that's going to sound. You can't untinny. We lost mics 5 or 6 mics in a soundboard. Only one mic picked up, and it was echo and distance and behind the crowd. And we turned that into stuff so good, it has an eeriness in that it's dead, other than the perfect voice of Malcolm Kendrick. Play that, Sevan. Do you have that?
No, I don't have access to that to play right now. It's somewhere in my text messages. But yeah, that's a crazy. I'll pull that up for the next time you're on. That's crazy. I've never seen anything like that. Greg did that event in Arizona with Emily. Emily and Greg put on the BSI event. Big, huge event. Amazing group of speakers. And the audio got destroyed. And recently they found some AI software that pulls out the speakers. And I heard examples of it. Like I seriously can't even believe it's real. It's like one of those old 1970s, look, you have a stain on your carpet. Now it's here. Now it's gone kind of thing. It's crazy.
Yeah. I didn't think it was possible.
Emily Kaplan, it's supposed to be a tool that judges if an intervention has an effect. A null is just saying there is no effect. Then you compare it to the intervention group and see if there's a difference. But it doesn't work like that. So it's a misuse of the tool to assume it will prove anything having to do with the validation. Kind of reminds me of the PCR test, a tool that was used improperly.
You can ask nearly anyone, especially academic scientists, university scientists, what a p-value is, and what you're going to hear, and many have done this. Briggs has made, a parlor game of this, asking a group of physicians, researchers, what's a p-value? And he's like, nope. And Gigerenzer has a list of common perceptions as to what a p-value is, and we've heard all of them, them. And they're all patently false. They're just not true. Now, what's interesting is the statisticians are saying, well, I never said it meant that. I never said it meant that. I said it didn't say it said anything at all about your hypotheses. It's the probability of the data on the assumption that the null is false given the test statistic I've chosen. That's what it is. And I'm going to borrow from Ethical Skeptic, who said it's mildly inductive. And that's great. What that means is it supports it may lend plausibility, but it's far from compelling evidence. And in fact, I can always jigger things to get the p-value of my choosing.
P-value is just the educated guess of what the results will be versus what the results actually show.
You know what? I don't have a huge problem with that.
P-value is the educated guess of what the results will be, versus what the results actually show. I like this. Dildo, Miss Emily Kaplan, explaining things to us in the chat is the equivalent of a good-looking teacher with the dumb idiot middle schoolers who make the hog jokes during the whole class. We can still try. We like a good hog joke.
Yeah, I remember my father talking at the health conference, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, on p-values. And, I was looking around the room. I mean, I got some of my speakers were falling asleep. It might be the most boring subject on earth, but it is certainly the greatest fraud ever perpetrated on humanity. And not just p-values. The whole of academic science, p-values is a symptom. That's an identifying piece. You got to study with a p-value, take a look at it. What my dad used to do was he would go through, look up all of the authors on the papers, and find the statistician amongst the authors. In medical work, there's always one of the authors is the statistician, right?
Yep.
And then you look up the statistician, and if they were one of these frequentists, if they were doing confidence intervals and significance tests and p-values, and if they were of the view that the probability of the data is the only place that only data has probability, that events do not, you're gone. You're gone. Find something else to read. Here's what smart physicians do. They collect those papers and consider them to be true, that jive with their clinical experience. And if they're lucky enough and experienced enough and intelligent enough, their clinical experience will be a reliable guide. And they learn things like the toxicity of carbohydrate. And so then you collect those papers. And that's being empirical, and that's about all you have. Because the CDC is not a reliable guide. New England Journal of Medicine is not a reliable guide. What they're telling you on CNN is bullshit.
Let me throw this out there real quick. Child falls down. You walk over. You pick a child up. Someone says you help the child. Someone else says, "Hey, you're hurting that child because you're not giving that child an opportunity to stand up." Right. So you can see both perspectives, right? You can see, okay, you can see how the person who thinks is picking up the child is helping it, and then you can see how and the same thing with like what we gave with math the other day. You can see how 2 + 2 is 4, but let's not judge people based on their answer. Let's give everyone a correct because we want them to pass. You can see that like you're going for the end goal of the result, and you can see how they're misunderstanding what it means to help people, right?
Yeah.
Why is it that some of those scientists can't see? Do you see where they're losing their way when they say it's the outside universe that has uncertainty as opposed to it's only the mind? It's only the human. The line was uncertainty is a feature of the brain. Can you see where those people are thinking wrong, where they lost their way?
Yeah. I mean, you started with describing the well-intended idiot, right?
Right.
But in terms of academic science, the number of scientists and the fields of science are exploding, and it's all extremely profitable. For whom? For the university, department heads, people getting grants, researchers. It's the world they live in, and it doesn't necessarily have to reflect anything that's real.
Okay. I've heard you say before that money is equivalent to human energy, and I really like that, right? That's why
it's human potential energy.
Right. So you give me money and then I sew you a dress. You bought some of my human energy. I've decided to. And
I've got a research grant in a laboratory funding tenure and fame for anyone that can show me that sugar's good for you.
Right.
And they will. We watched Children's Hospital of Philadelphia take some soda money and then produce a study that showed that diabetes was genetic. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Someone should be executed for that.
Going back to a conversation you and I had last night, I'm going to try to take this even one step deeper. We were talking about values, and we were talking about. I wish I could remember the exact line you said, but you said something like a godless man without values or something is a rare man to behold or something, or is a unicorn. I can't remember the word you used. And I know values is an abstraction, but what's to stop people? What could you put in place so people? What I'm taking away from this conversation is that people are chasing the money by any means necessary, as opposed to staying true to the truth, which would which I would also like to speculate would help civilization. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see where the fix is at the deepest level. We can't go through and fix every single one of these studies one by one. We don't have enough time. Something at a very deep level has to be fixed. The nature of man or something, or the way something has to be tinkered with.
It won't be fixed. The best we can do, the best we can see, like, listen, with CrossFit, the thought with CrossFit, I never had a dream of everyone on earth being fit.
Right.
It's absolutely not going to happen. One of the problems that CrossFit has is you bring people face to face with the costs of being fit. And they find out that the Thigh Master or Bowflex or whatever the thing is, that's not going to do it. It makes some difference, but that's not where fitness is found. And you're like, oh wow, that shit's really hard. Yep, that's true. Like doing your taxes and calculus and raising kids. These things are hard. Playing the violin, it's hard shit. And not everyone's going to do it. Not everyone's going to do it. But what we can do, again, it's my notion of any man, in the sense of like every man. We can provide any man with the tools so that he, she are less likely to be a victim of someone's bullshit science. Look, validation comes through predictive strength, not degrees, not titles. A model that's predicted nothing is not science, not yet. And we just crippled our civilization over models that have never predicted anything successfully.
Wow.
And then we call that following the science. It's exactly what science is not. Exactly what science is not. Putting faith in models that have predicted not shit.
And what models are you referencing? The climate models? COVID models?
The climate models, yeah. There's and the COVID-19 models. What was going on at IHME and at Imperial College with Ferguson. These guys were selling to political power models that justified a lockdown. And the models had never successfully predicted anything.
How about the model that
Ionati says we need to see the code. We need to see the code. He knows the code's bullshit. He knows the models don't work, and he'd like to expose this as a fraud from the level of the shitty code. But it doesn't need that. You don't need to see the code for a model that's never predicted anything. If it's predicted something successfully, at that point, I have interest in the code. Not until. These models, not only should they not have been used, they shouldn't have been published in anything that called itself scientific. And we've ruined a generation of kids. The upside is going to be that so many of us have pulled our kids from public school, and those kids are going to have an unnatural advantage for the rest of their lives. For the rest of their lives.
Well, I don't know what you mean by unnatural, but definitely an advantage relative to the herd.
Good. Yeah.
Greg, let me ask you how this works. 12 unarmed black men, I forget what year it is. Let's say, just bear with me here. 2020 were shot and killed by the police. 12 unarmed black men. Now, probably all 12 of them were resisting arrest or whatever, but that was the stat. And because of that, that put a nation in frenzy that did not look at the other 364,999,988 traffic stops that police officers made where nobody was killed. And because of that, looking at that data wrong and letting emotion come into play, we started this thing that caused a defund the police movement, which led to the increase in death of 34% more black men than the previous year. So their solution created more deaths because they didn't look at all the data, right? That's another just fucked up model, right? Okay, the police killed 12 people, so we're going to get rid of the police. Oh shit, we didn't look at the other 100,000 people the police saved their lives. And the inversion of that is the mammogram, right? The mammogram. Give people the mammogram to, it's all tied together. You know where I was going to go with that? You give people the mammogram to try to fight their cancer, and then after you start looking at the data, you realize actually the mammogram's hurting people, causing misdiagnoses.
Yeah. Yes, screening absent symptoms is a problem mathematically. It turns out.
And is there a relation to that?
Show, perhaps, but Gilbert Welch is the guy that's published on this, and he was so effective in what he published that someone had to invent a scandal about the guy. Kind of like if you come up with something that's a threat to the vested financial interest in medicine, we're going to hear soon that you're some kind of pervert or predator. Nothing specific, nothing formal. It's just rumored enough to knock you out of a position.
You have the cure for the world's most vexing problem and a serious threat to all of healthcare profits, and then all of a sudden someone takes a tweet Floyd 19 and twists it around and comes after you like that. Makes up some bullshit.
I was talking of Gary Fettke and Tim Noakes. And,
right. I know you were, but I was thinking
we've watched the playbook. Oh, you have to expect it. You have to expect it. And RFK is going to RFK. I have so much respect for that man. And in fact, I would say I'm a friend. You know, we've had several conversations. We couldn't be. I think the only thing we share is a compelling authenticity and honesty. But the things he's saying on COVID are very, very important and real true.
I don't think he's bringing that logic though to the for lack of a better word to the George Floyd landscape. I don't think he's bringing that logic to race. You know what I mean? He still I think he still believes, from what I'm heard, that it's okay that 2 plus that he still believes that it's okay to have what's it called, the soft bigotry of low expectations.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess nobody's perfect, you know.
Imagine the rate at which his world is changing.
Right. Fast.
Yeah, it's gonna be a completely different Bobby in another year. He's learning it's all bullshit.
Here, I'm going to play this for you. This is just the first part of this. This is a fun little piece here. This is from Fox News. And what's this guy's name? Is this Jesse Waters? So Jesse Waters is going to share with us some talking points from Vivek Ramaswamy. I'm curious what you think about this. Here we go.
Candidate Vivek Ramaswamy isn't so sure 18-year-olds are ready for that kind of responsibility. He's proposing a constitutional amendment that would make 18 to 24-year-olds pass a civics test before they had the right to vote. It's the same test immigrants take before they become citizens. If you pass, congrats. Here's your registration form. But if you fail, you'd have to wait until your 25th birthday to vote, unless you do 6 months of military or first responder service. Primetime was intrigued by this idea, so we decided to put it to the test.
Thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, I think I'm going to guess what comes next, because I've seen them do this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to ask people how many states there are, and half don't know, right? That kind of thing.
Right.
Who's the vice president? No idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The bit goes to that. But they ask some harder questions like, what's
how many
the
US
law?
senators are there?
Well, no, but what's the law of the land? And no one guesses the Constitution, or what are the three?
See, I wouldn't have gotten that right.
The three government bodies, but I don't know. I'm okay with this. Like, I'm okay with this. I don't have any. The only part of me that doesn't like this is I don't like change, but I'm okay with this. I'm okay with, like, hey, if you maybe you shouldn't be voting unless you know some really rudimentary shit.
Yeah,
we shouldn't let. It's a way to weed out the idiots from participating in the game. You know, the Democrats are going to hate this, right?
Yeah, he's got no chance. That's going nowhere.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think about it? Are you against it? What and that idea, that whole, or you're like, fuck it, I don't care. I'm older than 25.
Some of both, but it's the wrong cross to bear.
Oh, for him, you're saying he should stick to really drive home, become like a one issue or two issue politician and just stick with it and run like that.
Inflation's an issue. The border's an issue. What's happening in public schools is an issue. Public health as a instrument of political control is an issue. Failing of academic science is an issue. But the age at which we vote, I just don't see. I don't. Again, you'll spend all your time arguing that issue.
And when you say he has no chance, why do you think he has no chance?
Because the angry orange bastard's going to get the nomination.
Oh, okay. I have a better idea. You have to be able to do 20 push-ups in order to vote.
Who was it? Elon was saying you should have to have children to vote.
Yeah, I'm.
Maybe you should get one vote for each kid you got. I could run with that.
Yeah, I like it.
I have 8 of my 9 here today.
Yeah, congrats. That's awesome.
We'll probably know when they go online.
What'd you say?
We'll probably know when they go online.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get a jacket. I'll be right back. I'm freezing.
Vivek loves the smell. Please. Vivek loves the smell of ginger taint. He's saying that he has his nose so far up Mr. Trump's ass. Oh. Good question. Little pivot. Greg, we'll come back to that one. Hopefully I don't lose it. Seed oils versus sugar. I can play this for you guys. This is an oldie but goodie. We've played this. I can play this for you guys here. Oh, Greg, there's a question here. Greg, can you comment on your current understanding of total devastation caused by seed oils versus sugar?
Yeah, I would reference again the Blue Paul Roche book and the material in there by Krumero, and compare the two. I think the seed oils have been demonstrated to be dangerous. What else can I say?
So you're not saying cut one out or the other, cut both out. You're not saying one.
Both.
Yeah.
I get rid of both.
There you go. Which is worse? Both. Sean Lenderman and Vivek
Which is worse? Trank or fentanyl?
Right.
What are we measuring? Wasn't that video something I shared with you yesterday?
Yeah. That's what
the gas station.
Yeah, was that trank? Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's trank, I was told.
Let me see if I can find that. That was fucking crazy.
The commentary was fantastic, and the music.
I wonder if I can play that.
More glamorizing drug use, right?
I don't know if I can play this with the music, but this was crazy.
Rock with it. The zombies. Mr. Lee, what's wrong with them? I don't know.
Mr. Lee.
Hey, Solomon, what's wrong with us, Solomon?
Ground control to Major Tom.
Wow. Oh, dang. Oh, man. And And that's the I saw some other, look at the guy just right up in his face filming. He can't do anything. He's just stuck at the gas, and she's holding on to the pump. Wow.
Check ignition and may God's love be with you.
Oh, wow. How does this end?
Poorly.
Oh, jeez. I don't think this is an isolated incident either. I've been seeing too many videos of these people hunched over all over our cities.
Yeah.
What is trank? Do you know? It's some mixture of stuff. Is that the one that causes the skin rot too that I keep hearing about?
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I got to keep my kids away from that. I think not having them in school is going to be a huge first step.
Yeah, no iPhone should be the second.
I agree. Okay. How about this? This is, you're not even going to believe what I'm about to show you. This is a global warming protester who they've cemented their hands into the ground. Look at this. You see that?
Shit.
Can you fucking imagine that, dude? They've cemented their hands in order to block traffic. I can't give them a dedication credit for that.
Ich bin nicht mal an seinem Finger und das macht er mit Absicht, aufmerksam.
Hey, why not just leave them there?
What country is that? In Germany?
That's Germany. Germany. Climate activists in Germany have been cementing their hands in airport runways and streets to protest against carbon emissions.
Ja, aber das kann schon passieren. Hier tut es zum Beispiel auch.
Leave them there button. You see that?
Oh, is there? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I hit that a few times.
Yeah. Damn. God, you button people are the bottom of the barrel type people. Nah, I'm good with it. Let starvation sort it out. No, I just support the protesters' right to make a statement.
That's not making a statement. That's interfering with others' free passage. It has some of the charm of a kidnapping. Makes you a piece of shit.
Yeah, why not do a little bit of investigating to find out if you're really on the right path? Extra sloppy. The two biggest issues we face is ending wars and ending the systemic destruction of our money. Everything else is a distant third. You mean like the value of the dollar? Is that what he's referencing?
Yeah, inflation, I'm guessing.
Turntable. Does your skin need to breathe? Like there's that famous story about the dude who played the Tin Man and Wizard of Oz almost dying because of the face paint. Yeah, people have died from painting their bodies. And
yeah.
I cannot imagine cementing my hand in somewhere. That I just think that's complete idiocy.
I'd let Putin work that out. What do you think he'd do?
Yeah, just rip them off.
He'd drive his car over you.
Yeah, or just yank them out. Let the cement or the hand go to war. I saw. This is a. Oh, did you see Canadians were given a travel advisory not to come to the United States because of our transphobia and homophobia? Did you see that?
Yeah.
And then I saw this about inventing your own gender. There's a department in the state of California. It's funded with approximately $2 million that encourages. It's under Gavin Newsom. That's encouraged in people to invent their own gender. But there's a rule to this. You're going to trip. They're called neo-pronouns, whatever that is. But there's a rule to this, with one exception. If your child chooses a gender that encompasses a racial, ethnic, or religious or disability group they are not a part of, the parent must direct the child to a different gender. So you can
wait with road ads all over it. You're looking at?
Oh, it's just it's Google populating it. You know what I mean? It's Google populating the page, right?
For you.
Yeah, for me, I guess.
Okay.
But I think it's fucking.
I thought Rogue was the sponsor of the Neo-Gender website.
No. I have Dear Bill and Katie. No. This is fucking crazy. So you can identify with whatever you want, unless like if you couldn't identify as being. They have limits to the craziness. Like you can't. If you're not Down syndrome, you can't identify with being Down syndrome. So those limits of what you can identify with are ethnic, religious. So if you're a Jew, you can't identify, I guess, as a Catholic. Disability. So like if you're autistic, if you're not autistic, you can't identify with it. It's fucking crazy that they have rules to their imagination thing. It's like, I understand don't bring a gun to the Halloween party. Like if you're a cowboy, like don't bring a real gun. Like I get it, right? But this shit is like wild. It's a mockery of their own imagination. This is funded by the state of California. Millions in taxpayers' money. Gender Spectrum will collect $2,340,000 from the California Department of Public Health. Office of Health Equity for the California Reducing Disparities Project.
It's the politics of 25-year-old girls with no education.
Tell me more.
It's just look at who's writing what's in the New York Times.
Oh, right. Wow.
Look what they studied in school. Look what they believe. Look at the way they write.
The Times has taken a shitter.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's absolutely amazing.
Caved Astro, I'm surprised there are no Pornhub ads on this site. I told you I don't use this computer for porn, ever. This is my office computer. No Kleenex tissues or porn allowed. Coffee Papa Mountain Mama. Mom, I've decided to be a black spaceship. No, honey, you can be a spaceship, not a black spaceship. And finally, Bruce Wayne, AOC politics.
Yeah. Where would she be if she weren't hot? She never would have left the bar she was tending when she became a congressman.
Right. Here's something else you're gonna like or not like. Did you see? Do you follow anything that the mayor of New York says?
Yeah. Oh yeah. How can you not be entertained by a sanctuary city being driven to its knees by immigrants coming? He liked the immigrants in Texas, not in New York.
Is that what's happening there?
Yeah.
Wait till you see this.
The finances of what's shown up there and their inability to pay for it is breathtaking. Him on the meat thing. Yeah, he's a moron.
Yeah, they're trying to get rid of meat in New York City.
I'm excited to announce that for the first time in our city's history, we're measuring just how much of an impact our food choices have on our emissions. First time we're doing this. We worked with the C40 Cities Climate Leadership Group, and I want to take my hat off to a great corporate partner, American Express. I'm excited to announce that for the first time in our city's history, we're measuring just how much of an impact our food choices have on our emissions. First time we're doing this.
with American Express.
What? Listen, I mean, I think Maggie's listening.
Uh-huh.
She's probably hitting up Holdsworth right now about Amex. That's it for us. I'm done with this call. We won't be Amex customers. I'm gonna be told my card's not good.
Oh my goodness. It's funny you say that because I actually, believe it or not, thought that. I'm like, oh, if Maggie sees this.
Oh yeah. No, she's this will go like the way PayPal did.
She doesn't want to support anything that's stupid at all.
She's anti-woke. Militantly so. We were talking about traveling internationally with Canadian
Tags on our
shit, right? Big
Yeah.
Maple Leaf shirt.
Yeah. I don't think that flies anymore. Does it?
She said she'd rather be the subject of a terror attack than promote even the slightest implication that she's stupid.
Yeah. It really is like up there. It really is like that. Canadians are stupid. Well, I don't know if the people are. The way they're being governed is just completely retarded.
They know it. When we did our broken science things, we had Canadian friends that had to drive into the U.S. to fly to Phoenix because they couldn't leave the country without the latest jab. So they drive out and then get on planes in Boston or Seattle.
Hey, and you know those immigrants coming into New York City where the vaccine was mandated to eat. Now, none of those immigrants are vaccinated.
The problems would be worse for the city if they were.
A credit card company that profits off the free market participating in government monitoring of food choices. Isn't capitalism the best? Oh, someone from Canada was just about to call. Go ahead. Let's do it. Oh, no, Mad Marv. My wife believes no meat is good for society. Oh, no. Hey, have you seen this? Have you seen this report? Have you seen this study where women who take birth control, their attraction towards women increases? And so that therefore they're attracted to men who have more feminine qualities, and then they get with these men, and then they get off the birth control, and they're not attracted to those men anymore because they were attracted because of their hormonal change from the birth control. Have you seen that study?
No.
And that basically that they're saying that that's one of the, I guess, so many women were on birth control, and there was there was a natural, I don't know, natural selection that more and more men started feminizing themselves to become attractive to those women. You haven't seen any of that stuff?
No, but look, I think I talked to you about.
I'm not sure. I believe in that kind of the possibility of that kind of shit.
I came to Santa Cruz in '95, and places about the most liberal place I'd ever been, heard about. I mean, you know, far to the left of Santa Monica, which was where my exposure to in Venice, to liberal LA. But the liberal ethos
give me 1 second, caller.
Has a feminizing effect on men, and the women, it makes them unhappy. And so I got to listen to a lot of the superstars of CrossFit early days, well-known names, nasty girls, in fact, complain in detail about the men in their lives, and it was a lack of masculinity. I told one of them once, I think he needs to tell you to shut the fuck up, but doesn't have the balls to do it. And she took immediate offense and then relaxed and goes, God, I think you're right. Yeah. He's taking it. I mean, I'm just hearing one side of the story, and what I'm hearing is you're giving him an unbelievable amount of shit.
Right.
And he's just, of course he's getting his mom involved. He's a pussy. You've made him that way.
Damn.
And you can't be attracted to him.
Damn. Yeah.
Now I hear there's a fertility problem. Of course there is.
If he gets their mom, if your husband gets his mom involved, you have a problem. I want to come back to this. Caller, go ahead.
Hey, Sevan and Greg. Yeah, I'm from Canada. I'm from Montreal, and it's the exact same thing you guys were talking about. We drive to Plattsburgh, New York, or Vermont just to park our cars, and we drive anywhere, or we fly anywhere in the U.S. It's way simpler and cheaper to do that than just to fly from Canada. It's crazy. But that was just a side note. The thing I wanted to really talk about was, are you, Greg or Sevan, aware of who Joel Seedman is? I just listened to the podcast with Joe, the trainer, and he's amazing. And I was curious to know if you were aware of who Joel Seedman was.
Is that a real name, Joel Seaman?
No, Seedman. Yeah.
Oh,
it's this guy on Instagram who's a supposed trainer for like professional athletes, and he doesn't believe in like squatting below parallel. I know Zach Tellender, who you know, Sevan, just had a discussion with him on his YouTube page, and it was pretty fascinating. And I would love for you guys to actually talk to him or just to review some of his videos and just see what type of nut job he is. It would be really cool to see.
Look, hey, I'm pulling. Thanks for bringing this to my attention, Joel Seedman. What's interesting is right in his picture, he has his profile picture is him not squatting below parallel. And what?
Correct. He doesn't believe in it. He says there's more injuries by squatting below parallel than by not, and that during football games or anything like that, you're never going to be in a position that's below, 90 degrees. So he doesn't believe in it. So just right there, it sounds to me like it's
what I would do was I would have him sit on the ground and then stand up and show me how you do that without one of the legs going acute or both. And the truth is, you can't do it. So he's full of shit from that perspective. You can't get your ass off 100%. The ground without going acute in one leg. It's with just one, it's kind of hard. But
what does that mean going acute? What does that mean going acute?
Bent more than 90 degrees.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I mean,
hey,
Sevan, if you could go through some of his videos and get Greg's.
I don't want to attack this guy, but just based on what you're saying, because but hey, you could argue that getting out of bed is the most dangerous thing you can do. If that's, I'm sure he has more to say than what you just said. But if you just say, hey, people who squat below parallel are more likely to get injured, or you don't do it here or there, that's like saying, people who get out of bed are the ones who get injured. It means nothing. It's
well, the scary thing about what he's saying is that he's specifically referencing the athletic performances of some of these professional athletes, and whoever misses and pops and mom and the kids and stuff who want to go to the gym and imitate some of those professional athletes, whether they aspire to that or not. I mean, they look up to those athletes, and if they look up to the trainer of those athletes to see how they can develop and become stronger, well, then that's where it becomes a problem, in my opinion.
Outside of just crazy, I'm not talking about stupid ranges of motion, but all the people I know who get injured doing the sports that I see my kids doing, things like jiu-jitsu and tennis and skateboarding, it all comes down to just them not having, especially in jiu-jitsu, if your kid doesn't have a good range of motion, someone's going to put the hurt on you, and you're not going to be as good at your sport, period, 100% of the time.
Yeah. Speaking of ranges of motion, Greg, I'd love to hear your opinion on that. If you're born with a type of anatomy, can you change by getting more flexible in certain end ranges of motion? Can you change the way you're innately born to move in a certain way? I don't know if that question makes sense, but
you mean like if like one of my kids can do the splits at 4 and one of them can't, can you teach your kid to do the splits?
Well, let's say like let's say my hip anatomy allows me to squat below parallel, but my toes face outwards more because let's say I don't have as much, I have a bit of tightness in my hips. If I stretch and I let go of that tightness in my hips, can I then be in a more beneficial position that maybe I wasn't born to be in? And is that something that's good, bad, or just neither nor?
You need a range of motion that will allow for functional movement. And there's some natural aspects to limb length that will determine the squat. Our friend Bruce Edwards has long femurs and short tibia. His knees for his height are too close to the ground. And it makes for an interesting squat. But regardless, what he needs is the sum of all forces to come to zero so that each force is counteracted, and so that I don't have a change in balance as I lower my center of mass. And if there's a flexibility problem in there, it will manifest, and it does need to be addressed. I can see lack of shoulder flexibility by looking at your ankles when you press overhead. If the shoulder doesn't open up, the pelvis has to come forward to find balance, and it pushes the knees forward, and it reduces the angle at the ankle.
Hey, let me ask you this too, real quick, for anyone who might think that Joel's on to anything. Would you rather move like this? And I'm putting up a picture of Louis Simmons, people doing Louis Simmons shit, or go to the knees over toes guy. Who do you want to move like? The what I see when I see people moving around out in the world, and I see it right away reeks of how old people are. And sometimes I wonder, people see I'm 51, but I don't think I move like a 51-year-old. I think I move like a 30-year-old still. I don't want to move like any of the Louis Simmons people. When when Greg brought Dave Tate to speak to CrossFit, he had some crazy, like, I think he did like a 500-pound deadlift cold. But dude, the guy couldn't, from the standing position, couldn't bend over and touch his shoes. No, thank you. I'd way rather, I don't want to move like this. No human being wants to move like
question
this.
to you, Greg. I'll let you guys go. I just have one more question for Greg, because he mentioned it, and it's something I was wondering about. A lot of Zach mentions it often too, is the whole limb length thing, the femur length. How is there like an actual equation to know if you technically are considered long femur or not? Because I think I have long femurs, but is it subjective, or is there an actual measure that you can go off of to maximize your?
You could spend a lot of time putting energy into this, but fundamentally it's something you can do nothing about. And so what I asked of Bruce was the same thing I asked of everyone else, is to stay on your heels. I don't want to see the toes mashing hard. This is the same guy.
Yeah, did you see me hitting the guy?
Yeah, that's now where it's strike three. So I didn't like the way he vectorized that thing, this little drawing at the top. I hate that fucking. That is the.
That's his bulletproof body injury encyclopedia program.
That's not good for the brain. Idiocy.
But the thing I'm trying to understand is when people say they have long femurs in relation to what?
Okay.
This guy's asking, when you have long femurs, what do they mean? Long femurs in relationship to what?
The total leg length.
Oh, okay. So it has to be more than a certain amount of your total leg length.
It doesn't have to be anything. It's not. I'm not compelled by this subject, but I do recognize that not everyone at 5'10" has their knees in the same spot. Interestingly, and that's going to govern how you squat. But I don't think you get a special parking place or a discount on anything at Del Taco. I saw, it's amazing how much. Go back to that vectorized thing that he did. He's drawn his angles off of the perspective from the photograph, and it's not the angles. It's not the angles of the body. That.
Yeah.
Look at that. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not relative to the earth or the floor he's standing on. It's just relative to the position of his body in space. Meaning that might be at 90 degrees.
That hip is not at 90, I don't think. And neither's the leg. But he drew it on the picture.
From what it looks like to me, how he's getting those numbers for those angles is because his knees are the position of his knees coming forward, right?
That leg is not at 90. That leg looks like 110 degrees to me, and the torso, the hip inclination looks to be about 80 degrees.
Okay.
To me,
meaning he's come forward, and it's a low bar.
No, nothing to do with the bar. I'm just saying that the hip and the knee, I don't think they're at 90. I think the leg's greater than 90, and I think the hip's less. I think he confused himself with the drawing. If I were to vectorize that movement, I'd want to see perpendicular to the athlete. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I need to see him from the side.
Yeah.
Then look at those angles. And they're not going to be what he's claiming on that 3/4 shot. I'm amazed at how, and this is a kinesiologist, I'm amazed at how little vectorization of movements has been done. And when I did that for the deadlift, and that got made into a sweatshirt.
Yeah. Yep.
That vectorized deadlift, I realized on doing that these movements are part of your physiology. They're more important. The physiology is governed entirely by your anatomy.
That looks like it's right at parallel. Those.
Yep.
I mean, I don't have an issue with that, do you? From what you can see?
Yeah, it's a little high.
That one?
I tell you what, if he'd reach out on that lunge another 8-9 inches, it'd be way more effective.
Wow, 8 or 9 inches even.
Yeah, just you want to take as few steps for the distance as you possibly can. The further out you'll put that leg, the more you're doing with the glute and hamstring. I'd like to reduce the quad in that lunge by 25-30%. He's keeping that lunge he's keeping that comfortable with the maximum control. And what you want to do is expose yourself with as far a reach as you can and claw yourself forward. And that brings it into the posterior. We get way more glute hamstring.
His stop down here is pretty impressive. It looks like almost like he's hitting something, but he's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Is he Canadian?
Advanced human performance.
I saw that link you sent me about the Pirates in
San Francisco.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Yeah.
There's just thievery seems just like it's skyrocketing. Does it seem that way to you when you look at the news?
Legalized.
What?
It's been legalized.
Yeah. Appearance of pirates in San Francisco Bay leaves boaters and mariners on edge.
Marinas.
Oh, marinas. Mariners too. Mariners are
Yeah, everyone.
According to ABC, thieves are arriving at night aboard small watercraft using bolt cutters and other break-in tools to gain access to unoccupied boats. Boats are being stolen from the Alameda Community Sailing Center. They had 4 boats stolen.
What happened?
Something is reading something I'm saying. Something recorded what I was saying, the computer, and started reading it back to me. What did it say? Something about 4 boats over the last couple of months. It's become extremely severe. Boats are being stolen almost on a nightly basis. I bet you the security down there is horrible, right? They're not used to it, and so there's just like one rent-a-cop down there. No one even with a gun.
Yeah, it's
Joe Westerland, don't fall a victim to his spell. Any amount of moderately charisma and production quality makes anything seem compelling, hence the Game Changers film.
he's talking about
That
Seaman.
guy, yeah, the Joel guy.
Hey Joe, do you get what I'm saying about those angles?
Joe, what did you think about the angles, Joe? There's a number down at the bottom if you want to call in. Send Dave to sort it out. What, the boats or the squat?
Send Joe to Seaman for squat help, some therapy, and have Davey take care of the Pilates.
There is last week we talked about last week there was a mention of math. We did that talk about math being racist and the soft bigotry comment, and then this popped up in my feed. I thought everyone would appreciate this. Okay. Soft bigotry of low expectations. Soft bigotry of low expectations. Here we go.
Supposedly correcting black students when they say ask instead of ask is racist?
When a Black or African American child says to their teacher, can I ask you a question? And the immediate response being from the teacher with a sense of superiority based in white racial superiority, often with our 84% white female teachers, the response being, that's not how we say ask. We say ask. Ask isn't a word. And so we have children that understand their home language practices to be not just deficit, not just wrong, but broken, ignorant. The list goes on as to what it communicates when you police a child's language that their home and their community has taught them.
See, people like this feel like stupidity and ignorance is black culture. If a student, no matter what their race and culture is in English class, for instance, and they say a word wrong, the teacher should correct them and show them the proper way to say the word and the proper way to pronounce the word and the proper way to use the word in a sentence. They shouldn't be like, oh, I know all your people say that word wrong, so it's cool. Just keep doing it like that because I don't want to be racist. That's ridiculous. And why are black people the only people who excuse stuff like this? We need to hold ourselves to a higher standard. So supposedly correcting black students when they say X.
Although I have never, I've never heard anyone correct a Chinese student in class, but it's usually just their parents that say words wrong, and not the kids.
I just heard that woman say that axe isn't a word.
Right, in her explanation. Yeah. Hey, and that's the 25-year-old girl you're talking about. Sorry to be sexist and ageist, but that's the 25-year-old girl you're talking about who works at the New York Times, right? Yeah. Unfortunately, that is the demographic.
Yeah, you can parrot that shit. You can mimic it. It doesn't take a lot of work to be stupid.
And she's conflating stuff like there's some relationship between the fact that 84% of school teachers are white, and it's just conflating ideas. It's not relevant to her argument, and yet she wants it to be so bad. What do you got planned for today?
You know, I'm hoping the weather is going to support some boating.
Did you look out the window? Was that you like looking out over?
It's been raining off and on.
And you're looking at the lake when you do that? When you look out to your left? Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, that's cool. Wow. You could throw a rock from that window and hit and land in the water?
Yeah, I think I could.
Me too. I think I could too.
Yeah.
Hey, you think you could throw a baseball from 60 feet and hit a bucket? How many tries do you think that would take you? Like a Home Depot bucket, one of those big orange ones.
I don't know.
How is your shoulder?
But I know it's not good.
Oh.
And I know that wouldn't be good for my shoulder.
Right.
But I also know that I would get better with each throw.
Right.
And a half hour into it, I'd probably be doing my best and then pay the price the next day.
Look, right. Look, Heidi's been listening. Depends on the rock.
That's brilliant.
That is brilliant.
Yep.
Some of the boys were suggesting I couldn't hit a bucket from 60 feet away. So the other day, from 40 feet away, I used tennis balls and I easily hit it. Just a couple tries. But I could definitely see as it got further and further away, my shoulder would hurt. And I didn't do it. I didn't warm up, but I can definitely tell that throwing not warmed up is dangerous.
Yeah, I think I've done more shoulder damage throwing than anything.
Oh, really? You're not joking?
Yeah, worse than swimming or gymnastics.
Eaton Beaver, Sevi is a smart dude, and his IQ is even higher when coach is on. Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, thanks, Greg, for coming on. Good morning.
Thank you. It's good being here. And thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Hey, where are the boys? Where's Matt and Caleb?
I don't know where they are this morning. They almost never come on Monday through Friday in the mornings because they have jobs. Sousa, but when you were coming on, they try to adjust their schedule. You're the only guest they do that for. Isn't that funny? They never even said anything to me. All of a sudden, I'm just like, that's interesting. 8 out of 10 shows Greg is on, you guys are here in the morning. So they like you.
They're good dudes.
Yeah, they're great dudes.
All right, sir. Thank you. What are you doing today?
I'm gonna
tennis, right?
Yeah. From here, I'm going. Oh, here's something I'm doing. I'm gonna take the boys to the skate park right now for a couple hours with the instructor. But there's two. We got our first kind of real rivalry in CrossFit. There's an athlete who took second or third at the CrossFit Games who's claiming that the champion was shit talking him and pushing him and roughing him up a little bit during the some of the events. It's the Russian guy is claiming that the champion Jeffrey Adler was doing some things that were unsportsmanlike. And so I had the champion on and he says, no, it's all good. But the Russian's the one that's complaining. And so he's coming on tonight. We're going to get to the bottom of it. I'm kind of excited. A little drama.
Kind of like physical contact?
Yeah. Supposedly, this is just all hearsay, but supposedly during the run, 3 things. One, that he was texting him throughout the week, talking shit to him. I don't know what that means. I don't know if he was saying like, your wife's crotch smells like Lucky Charms. Like, I don't know what he was saying to him, but he was supposedly texting him and taunting him. And so was the coach. Supposedly during the events, he was talking shit to him, which we actually did see him during some of the events talking to him, which I don't have an issue with any of that. And then, but supposedly the other part is that there was actually some physical contact, that during the run and the bike ride, there was actually some pushing and shoving and some things that were unsportsmanlike. So I like it. I like all of it.
Oh yeah, I think on the bike ride, all the athletes ought to be given a piece of PVC about 24 inches long, and spokes are fair.
What's that thing you have in the office in Larkin Valley? That stick from Africa that, like, if you hit someone with it, it could just rip out their insides. Do you remember that thing?
I've got what's that thing called?
I don't know, but that thing's crazy.
Hey, you give someone rhabdo and kill them.
Yeah.
With hundreds of bruises.
Julie Jones, Roman is not wrong about how he feels. Jeff Adler said that he was trying to play mind games with him, with Roman during the games. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know what your implications are, Miss Jones, but either way, I'm okay with all of it. I'm okay with all of it. Are you okay with all of it? I'm okay with texting your opponent. Like that time Tiger Woods gave his competitor a tampon. He slipped him a tampon as they were walking from one hole to another.
I remember that.
I love that. I look at Dildo. I hate sportsmanship. Me too. Me too.
Look, I would suggest to both of them that letting some guy get under your skin is inconceivable to me, and thinking about someone else trying to play the psych game rather than controlling yourself. You know, I used to enjoy watching the old games champion. What's his name? Not Frazier, the one before.
Rich.
Well, I liked watching Froning watch Bailey. And I liked watching one of our Icelandic gals watching the little French Canadian. What's her name?
Camille. Yeah.
See how invested in games culture I am.
Yeah.
But the Icelandic girl's assessment of Camille was one of complete and total dismissal. And Camille was trying to glare at her hard ass, and she didn't exist. It's like a horse worried about the flies instead of the race that's about to start, you know?
Right.
And it's a mental lapse, both having someone get under your skin and trying to get under someone's skin. It's a mental.
Oh, really?
I think. Hey, you remember the attitude of the Terminator?
Yeah.
You know, fairly unflappable, right?
Yep.
If not perfectly so. That's what you don't want in an opponent. And Froning brought that to the table.
The unflappableness.
Amazing, powerful mind.
Poised.
Just
I don't know. I think Fraser utilized leveraged his insecurities, I feel like, as a motivational tool. But I guess I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Running through, just he was always very poised.
Yeah.
You
didn't think I paid enough attention to him.
If Fraser didn't?
Yeah.
You didn't. Yeah. Guilty.
Rogan said what? That you made him so much money and he doesn't, you know.
Modern day gladiators destroying themselves for our entertainment. You think the gladiators were concerned about being nice to their opponents? Hell no.
Thank you.
All right.
I think we're out of here.
All right. Thanks, dude. Have a good day. I'll call you later.
I'll be around.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, Greg Glassman. Can you guys hear my mouse hitting the table? Wow, we got a guy who says you shouldn't squat below parallel. That was good. That was fun. Out of nowhere. I'm cleaning up my notes now for next week. There's a great Jordan versus LeBron piece. I'm going to show Greg. I think Greg's a Michael Jordan fan and not so much a LeBron fan. Hiller needs to do a video on Joel Seedman. What Zach Talander did is that on Talander's site? Daniel Garrity, At Invictus, they told Camille to watch my wife's rowing form so she can improve. Camille then told my wife she'd beat her at anything else besides rowing for no reason. Oh, yeah. I got some stories, too. I don't know. Where do you draw the line between it being respectful versus I think Camille has this thing where she just thinks she's being honest. It's like we were talking about yesterday. It's like when my relatives would just be like, I had an aunt who would just like see me or see someone they hadn't seen in a while, and she'd be like, "Oh, you got fat," and like she didn't understand that some people don't want to be called fat or that it was a good or bad thing. They just think they're giving an observation. Wad Zombie, Shaquille O'Neal's better than LeBron. Shaq intentionally made his shoes cheaper so kids could afford them. I don't know if that makes him better, but I'm not a fan of LeBron. Oh, thank you, Kenneth DeLapp. Thank you. Sevan, please, everyone, subscribe to the Sevan Podcast subclips. Get us up to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you. Yeah, that's the thing. I've seen a bunch of asshole stories from Camille. I just can't. Part of me wants to let her off the hook because it's like maybe she just doesn't. It's like almost like it's Tourette's. You know what I mean? Like all these people, like people are bringing to the or what kind of like what Wad Zombie just did. Like you have to bring your values to the situation, to say that cheaper shoes asking for your shoes to be cheaper so more kids can get them is like a nice thing to do. I don't know if that is. People yelling at Oprah because she's not giving enough money to Maui. Like someone said the other day that that Matt went to a competition for free, and when the competition asked Tia to come, Tia wanted $20,000, and they were using that to dig at Tia. I'm like, yeah, she should charge $20,000. I'm not going fucking to any competition for fucking free. Fuck that. Why would I do that? I got shit to do here. Yeah, how could you even say that? What if Tia's mom was dying or something and she wanted to spend time with her mom, but she needed that money in order to pay for her mom's surgery? I mean, there's whatever. I don't give a fuck what the reason is. I just don't judge people like that. That seems like liberal retardation. Whew, I almost said the word to me. Vittorio, you went to the games for free and recorded the behind the scenes. The Sevan Podcast blocked Jake Chapman? Really? Someone unblock him. Can we unblock him? How did that happen? He's one of my favorite. LeBron is the leader of the victim culture. Yeah, I agree. It was probably an accident. No one blocks. How do you unblock him? Do you want me to call Susan, see if he can unblock him? What happened? No, I don't think anyone would block Jake. Can I give him a wrench so he can unblock himself? How does that even work? I have to just look for the city of. How do I find Susan's phone number? Just look for a 925 number. I wonder if that's it. Should I just try a random number on here? Fuck. Maybe I should. Do you remember when you used to memorize people's phone numbers? You guys probably don't remember that. There it is. I haven't called Susan in a while. It was yesterday. Literally blocked by the podcast account. Literally?
Yo,
Hi.
what's up?
Someone accidentally blocked Jake Chapman.
That was an accident. That was me. You got a ghetto card today.
What? Say it again.
So that wasn't an accident. That was me. He needs to quit acting out.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I was listening
my
to the
feelings
show.
were hurt.
And I heard you say that, so I was trying to think of something.
Oh, there's
I
already.
mumbled my word.
Hey, there's already some crazy conspiracy theories starting. Cave Dastro, Jake asked Heidi to block him so he could get a wrench. Wow, that would be slick.
That's some deep state shit right there.
Yeah. Are you near a computer? Do you know how to unblock people?
I do know how to unblock people. Hold on, let me just let me see something.
Kenneth DeLapp, Souza sounds drunk. What are you talking about? He sounds the opposite of drunk. That's his workday voice. Oh,
I'm like,
oh shit. No, he's not blocked. It says Jake Chapman. I'm here. I just fell asleep thinking of burpees. Well, shit. All right. Rumors. I'm so sorry to bother you. Hey,
Jake, you just letting everybody run around?
Is that true? I'm seeing I saw Roman pop up on the schedule. Is that true? We're getting Roman tonight?
Yep. 5 p.m.
Wow, good job, dude.
5 p.m. This should be really interesting.
Hiller's a beast, dude.
Yeah.
God, I think thanks for doing that. You and Hiller fucking nailed it. Hey, I almost feel like we should have Hiller on 10 minutes earlier to find out how he got it going. Are you going to be around for that?
No, I'll be doing a 5:30 p.m. intro class.
Well, that sucks. I mean, good job.
Yep.
I like it how you help people.
Yeah. Speaking of which, it sounds like we might have a new sponsor on board too.
Oh, who's that?
It should be
is that the one you showed me yesterday?
Yeah.
Dude, so I've been consuming, because I'm making a studio in here. I've been consuming so much fucking CrossFit content on the big screen in here, and I've been spending hours and hours in this room. And I just realized that I don't know how it works, but remember, I used to kind of be resentful towards people. Like all these people had like the Whoop sponsorships, right? And all these supplements, and just what are some of the other ones? Was there a watch, or is the Whoop the watch, or tier?
Yeah, the Whoop.
Everyone had all these sponsorships, and I was like, how the fuck are people getting all these sponsorships? And now they're pouring in, and it looks like other people are having trouble. And almost all of our sponsors are listeners. It's crazy.
Yep. They enjoy the show and they want to be a part of the ride. Plus, too, they know how awesome our audience is, which is very hard to come by.
Meaning it's more than just an audience. It's kind of like a community. Like if I'm drinking Paper Street, everyone's drinking Paper Street. If Wad Zombie's drinking Paper Street, everyone's drinking Paper Street. Everyone wants one of these stickers on their car, like that kind of shit.
Exactly. Yeah. And we have a whole ecosystem of us between, Hiller, Spin, Pedro,
right,
Watkins, like.
Oh, what's that called? We're like a co-op or something. We're like a unofficial. We're like an unofficial. You're right. We're all like kind of subsidiaries of each other without being subsidiaries of each other.
Yeah, because I mean, especially on the games update shows and some of the competition coverage and all that, it's like a blend of all of us.
Oh, Heidi said it's called. Heidi said it's called a harem. A harem. I'm fine with that.
That's an interesting definition for this one, but sure.
Okay. Yeah, it's crazy. I cannot believe how many sponsors. Do we have a limit on how much money we'll take, or we just take money, right? Send us your money.
No, supply and demand. We'll just start upping the ante on everybody.
Right. Send me your beef jerky. I'll eat it. And help. Send me your beef jerky. I'll eat it and help you sell it.
That's right.
Oh, speaking of which, I'm sending my 8 sleep today to Will.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Will makes some really funny creative videos.
I agree.
I'm excited to see like what he
I think 8 sleep
if he makes something with that.
Yeah, 8 sleep will get more value from me sending that to him than me keeping that.
Agreed. Yeah.
Like way more
like
value.
Exposure and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna make some sort of video for it, and then probably and then we'll show it. Unless he makes fun of it and destroys it, then we'll lose them as a sponsor. But at least at least it's still authentic. And if Ricky Garrard uses the 8 Sleep, who doesn't use the 8 Sleep?
That's true. Everybody should be using it. If Ricky Mack does it.
I actually want to show. Are you in front of your computer watching the show?
I'm in my living room now. I have a call at 9 though.
Oh, can I ask with who, or is it none of my? I mean, I know it's none of my business, but who do you have a call with?
I have a call with my buddy Trevor. Help us out with some post-production stuff potentially.
I don't think you can. If you have a call with someone, I don't think you can also call him your buddy.
Oh, okay. Why is that?
I don't know. Just being dirty, like, you know what I mean. Like it's too rigid and scheduled for them to be your buddy.
Yeah, well, time is money, baby. Mine is spent all day, so you got to schedule. You got to schedule.
I want to show
You're the only person that gets that pass. You're the only one.
Oh, thank you, dude. I only call you 1,700 times a day. What's the most number of times I've ever called you in a day? Do you know?
I mean, it's different, right? So like sometimes lots of stuff pops off at one time, you know, like it just gets crazy for us sometimes. So I don't know if those count.
Look at this.
Because in which case it'd be like 10 times.
This is what I've been looking to show. This is crazy. They need to put, if I was 8 Sleep, I would put this video up all the time from all sorts of different angles. This is how the 8 Sleep works. And I didn't know that because it came in a box and I looked at it and I was intimidated as fuck by it. But it basically just something that just slips over your mattress. God, that's such a nice graphic they do.
Well, I'm trying to see it without. Oh, yeah, that is a nice graphic.
It just lowers onto your.
Just slips right on.
Yeah, how did they do
just
that?
Like the commercial said.
Yeah. Well, Will's going to do that to his bed, and some lucky girl or boy is going to be stoked. When I was in Newport, when I was in Newport, there was an AC in the room, and I kept the room at 66 degrees, and it was the best I had slept in fucking years, even though the room was freezing.
Yeah.
Robbie Myers, 3D baby, I can create that. Nate Dogg looks cheap. I'd rather keep my sleep number, dude. This thing is not cheap. The way they send it to you, the box, the carrier. This thing is not cheap. There's nothing cheap about it. I am intimidated by boxes and male and female. Oh, Rory, my wife's boyfriend will be stoked. That's like Sousa's wife's boyfriend will be stoked on it, right, Sousa?
That's right.
All right. Thank you. I'm bummed you won't be on tonight's show. I hope your on-ramp class cancels. Oh, you know, Greg asked where you were this morning.
I know. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Hope you felt horrible for not being there.
Well, just tell him to bump it to Saturday, so we're all good.
All right. We just need more sponsors so that you don't need to, so you can get mornings off.
Yeah. The 7 a.m. That's the hardest part because so much of my stuff happens right at that time. We just got to bump this bad boy to like 11 a.m. and I could probably make every show.
We're close to that.
Pushing to 11 a.m.
No, I think no. I have to do the show early so I can play with my kids. But we're close to being able to afford you.
Getting there,
dude. What are you chugging? Is your boyfriend over?
Yeah, that's my 9 a.m. Drinking some Paper Street.
All right.
How do you probably yelled at me for swallowing into the phone?
Dude, that was some crazy swallowing. I've never heard you.
I got my AirPods in too, so like, I think it makes it way worse.
All right. I feel like there's some stone unturned, but tomorrow we have a UFC fighter on.
Yep. What's his last name? Blake. How do you pronounce it?
Builder.
Builder. Yeah, Blake Builder. That should be good.
All right. Oh, show is at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I updated StreamYard. Thank you. Shit.
Yeah, because it was 7 a.m. Central Time was what was on our thread with everybody.
7 a.m. or 7 p.m.?
I mean 7 p.m. Excuse me.
Yeah. All right.
And so I'm guessing you could make that, right? We didn't need to shift anything. I kind of just took it and ran.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny what Pedro wrote. Our thread is good. Is someone ever going to invite Halpin back on that thread or no? Is he toast?
I don't. I'm sure he'll come back on at some point. He's too good not to.
Someone has to just add it. Someone has to add him, right?
Are you hinting at me to do it? Just add him in there, and
I think it's okay to get kicked on and off the thread.
Yeah. Just a little seat change. That's all.
Yeah. Just like welcome back. I don't think he
Yeah,
would be.
like sometimes
I don't think he would be offended if he was kicked off and brought back and kicked. Maybe he'll even get used to it.
Yeah, it's like he just walks into the lunchroom. Sometimes there's an extra seat, and sometimes there's not.
Yeah.
You know. Maybe you get to sit down with your lunch. Maybe you don't. I don't know.
Shit. Mike says with that 8 sleep, he'd get electrocuted for sure. If you know what I mean.
That's interesting. I don't know.
Hey, how do you get to Wad? Does Wad Zombie have a? Oh. Does Wad Zombie have a? Oh, there it is. Okay. Have you ever been to Wad Zombie's URL?
Website?
Yeah.
He's got all like the cards and everything on there.
Yeah, he's got all sorts of crazy shit on here. Look at this patron saint of hard work. That's my favorite sticker.
The Colton one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
This is what I want. Trading cards. So they have Gazan, Ben Smith, Ariel Lowen, Emily Rolfe, Jason Hopper, Danielle Brannion, Dallin Pepper, Colton Mertens, Patrick Vellner, Alexis Raptis. Hey, someone told me today, I got to ask Ken Walters if this is true, but if you have someone sign a card, it loses its value. I thought it was the opposite. Yeah, someone said that in the YouTube comment, in our YouTube comments, that it means the card.
Yeah, maybe like if I sign the card.
Oh.
No way. You mean tell me if you have a Tom Brady card and then you have a signed Tom Brady card, the non-signed one is going to be worth more?
I don't believe that. I know. I don't believe it either, but fuck, I don't know shit. Hey, 2 of the cards are sold out.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I wonder if that means their value is going to go up. Oh, he's got a link to our YouTube page. Oh shit! Roman Krennikov speaks out.
Oh, is that the show scheduled tonight? He's leaked the show for tonight.
Should I change the title to something more aggressive? Roman versus the Roman Adler drama, or do that after?
Yeah, the Roman Adler. I like that. Hey, remember that guy DJ Efren we had on the show?
Is that
from Drink Champs?
Yes. What about him?
And his girlfriend. So I don't know, something just like popped up in my feed right here with he's in this like round table of other rappers, and there's this other rapper, Simba, that's talking there, and I met that Simba dude last July.
Oh, is that the guy we were trying to get on the show?
Yeah. And it's funny because now they're kind of connected. That's happened to so many of our guests.
They've ended up on the Drunk Rapper show.
No, they just all seem to connect with somebody.
Yes.
Like we had Hans on.
Yes.
You remember we had Hans on like
Yes.
way back before people even knew about him as a comedian. And the next thing you know, he was on the Kill Tony show, and then he was with Rogan. And then David Lucas, our best podcast guest ever, was also connected up into them.
Yes.
And then we had PBD on, and then PBD and Joe became buddies, and yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, kind of cool how they all somehow everything's connected a little bit.
I got your camera hooked up on the producer's desk here in the podcast studio.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm coming out on Sunday. Make that 5 a.m. drive.
Dude, it's so impressive in here. You're going to be blown away.
The pictures you showed in the chat made it look awesome.
Now we just got to get some guests.
You're like a real live podcaster now. You got a whole studio and everything.
I told someone the other day, I said, hey, this is the nicest podcast studio I've ever seen anywhere. And they said proximity bias. But it is whatever. Just telling you.
It sounds like something Dave would say.
Ding, 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 ding.
Did you see? I left him I think I told you about this. His last week review. I left him a comment. I said, hey, Dave, you want me to help you set up a mic? Your audio could use an upgrade.
Oh.
And then in this week's, he read my comment. He said, yeah, come help me set one up.
Oh, no shit. Oh,
Yeah.
shit. He has a new, that's the one that went up 23 hours ago?
Yep. Yeah, it was kind of towards the beginning of that one.
He's actually getting some views these days. He used to not get any views.
Yeah. Yeah. He's really paid those bots off, huh?
It's funny. As soon as he became director of the CrossFit Games, his shit skyrocketed. Wow, he's almost got 16,000 subscribers too. His shit's popping. Give him a thumbs up.
We should get him hooked up with a mic.
Our sponsor. I don't think he can have any sponsors. How is someone not sponsoring
Well, I mean,
the show?
Like he could buy the mic and then we'll just go over there and hook it up.
Oh shit. Wow, that shoot the club up 42 douchebag. Dave engaged him once, and now he's in the comments. See, he says CrossFit should have changed games leadership 8 years ago. 20 years in, and still no cohesion about how an affiliate should implement a class. Should implement. That doesn't
make any sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. This guy never makes sense. Sports getting smaller, buddy, and you've shown you have no new ideas. God damn.
Hey, did you see that tweet that, I guess it's an X or whatever it's called now, that Hiller put up a couple days ago and said, would you rather pay $3,000 for CrossFit licensing or to put a smoothie bar in your gym?
No, I didn't see that. Is that how much it costs for a smoothie bar? $3,000? Seems a little cheap.
No, I thought that was like the worst analogy ever.
I don't even get it.
I mean, not even an analogy, but like options, I guess. Like that option doesn't even make sense.
Maybe he was doing it to make it. It was supposed to be preposterous. Preposterous.
Possibly. I'm curious about that one.
No leadership anywhere needs wholesale changes, not the same retreads. Wow, this guy is a retard. Oh my God! Wow. I want to see this guy's YouTube page. Of course, nothing. Just straight troll. Wow. Yeah, that guy used to come. That guy used to come over to the podcast and say the dumbest shit.
Has David told me to hang up or anything yet?
I haven't been looking at our comments.
Okay. I'm always afraid to look at it when I'm on the phone. I feel like I get roasted.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Oh, he must be slacking.
I haven't seen David today in the comments.
Oh, he's taking a day off, huh?
There are some comments in there I wouldn't dare read that I really like, though.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you afterwards. Chester, Deluga, a little behind when a card is personalized, like to Sevi, my #1 fan. Oh, what does that mean? I want to know what happens if you sign a card. Oh, so this weekend we need to get together with you know who also. I know your meeting's just about to start. The Crash Crucible guy, J.R. Howell. We need to run tests.
Oh yeah. I
have all the shit here. I have all the stuff here, the new equipment here.
Oh, awesome. Okay. I'll give him a call today. Usually around 11 o'clock he's open. That's like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock his time.
Okay.
And then we'll get some more detail. I'll need to find out what the closest hotel is.
My wife's teaching a CrossFit class in 15 minutes in the garage, so I'm going to I'm not allowed to advertise that because she's not an affiliate, but I I need to go blow out the garage.
Okay, right
Dick
on.
Butter says,
call me later.
Sousa, wipe your butt.
Hey, thank you, Dick Butter.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, later.
Guys, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you tonight. It'll be a fun show with Roman. Rosa, his translator, will be here. Andrew Hiller will be here. I assume hopefully Caleb will be here. Chester says the value goes down when you have the card signed. Wow. All right. Now we know. No, I'm going to blow out the garage. I blow out the garage before every class she teaches. Russ Stevens. Wow. We should keep going. I got to go to the skate park. This is a great comment. I can believe that, but imagine many women wake up one day and realize they married an incompetent wet flannel. I don't understand your wording, but I like it. And yeah, that would suck. Imagine marrying someone and they just go to shit too. Do you know what I mean? Like they become, like my values fucking increased, like as a human being has increased a millionfold. Like my wife is 20 times the woman she was when I married her. 100. I don't even know how you quantify it, but it's crazy. I want to be inspired and impressed, and I don't need to be competitive with my wife, but man, can you imagine marrying someone and they just go to shit? That would suck. Okay, bye. I'm going to skate park. If anyone wants to go, meet me at the skate park, they can. It's going to be a fat session today. My Instagram will show all sorts of crazy videos. Oh, wait, one more last thing on signed cards from Patrick Clark. Catching up regarding autograph cards, it's based on authenticity. So getting something signed in person needs to be authenticated to confirm it's not fake. Ooh. So I don't go to weddings, but send me an invite anyway. If it's really close and kids are welcome, I would possibly attend. Okay, bye-bye.